YouTube, what's going on? We have the newest SB heroes to come out in the game. Today, we're going to be talking about Daryl Dixon. I already posted my initial impressions based on his skill write-ups, but this will have everything. So let's dive in. It's completely blind. I don't know what people are talking about, what people are saying purposefully. I ignored that. So we'll see. As the season progresses, we'll know more. First thing I notice, unknown force. We have no idea who they are, so he's not like, I guess, in any of the factions. That's fine, doesn't really matter. He's a ranged archer, so generally meaning the back row, and a shooter hero. We already knew that stuff. First ability, nothing changed, okay? Second ability, blind spot. It's a prep skill, so round 0. It always happens, basically. In normal attacks, 50% chance to hit the weak point of the enemy squad. Okay, so that just means after you normal attack, there's a 50% chance to do everything here. Deals 125% normal attack damage and reduces the damage from it by 30% for 1 round. This can be stacked up to 2 times. Okay, so basically 50% chance after a normal attack isn't that high. A lot of the normal attacking heroes have higher chances than this, but it's not terrible. If you do like 4 normal attacks in a round, I mean, this will happen, theoretically twice. Reduces the damage from it by 30%, could go up to 60%. That's actually enormous, but this is only going to happen on 1 hero, in theory. On 1 hero, the effective range being 2 is also very strange. It basically means you can't put him in the back row because, yeah. So you probably have to put him in the second row or I guess even the first row. We'll see. Overall, this skill, it's okay. Basically, the whole point is reducing the damage from it, but again, it'll only apply to generally 1 hero, unless I guess you're auto-attacking like all the time. 50%, nothing new. His 5th ability, Deadly Blow, another prep skill. So 0 happens all the time. In normal attacks, 100% chance, so that's more common. We actually have 100% chance to make the enemy squad bleed, and this deals 150% damage, reducing its healing effect by 40% and increasing the damage it takes by 10%. So this is actually, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So 100%, that means after every single auto attack, this stuff is going to happen. The stacks is kind of irrelevant. So basically, if you auto attacked 5 times in a round, this would occur 5 times. The only thing that wouldn't happen is this here, reducing its healing effect by 40% and increasing the damage it takes by 10%. Only this will stack up to 3 times. So you'll still make, you'll still do all of these attacks, but it's not really going to matter. So I guess so far 3 is sort of the limit. So you don't really need to pack on like 100 auto attacks. 40% stacked up to 3 times, reducing the healing by 120 is huge. That's really, really big. There are a lot of heroes that kind of do very similar things. Increasing the damage it takes up to 30% is very good. So realistically, you want to always be auto-attacking 3 times per round, to actually maximize his effect. And then we have HP plus 15. Okay, interesting. So we have 15 might, fit, and resistance, normal. 15% HP, so potentially a front row hero. Even though it says ranged, we'll see. Might 30, resistance 30. Okay, that's cool. What's interesting is this is for actually every single squad, so it doesn't matter if they're shooters or vehicles or anything, which is cool because this is usually these skills are kind of for general attribute heroes, so not archer heroes, but this is actually really nice. You can do, the 3, you can do like a vehicle, a shooter, and a fighter with him, and they'll all get this bonus. So that's cool. And then his 8th ability, critical moment, prep skill, again, 0. 60% chance to launch 1 more normal attack after a normal attack. Okay, so this is huge. This basically synergizes with everything else. So realistically, you probably only need one auto attack enhancing hero. So let's just say Jackie, for example. If you had Jackie and Daryl Dixon, because of this, you probably will get those 3 auto attacks every round. RNG obviously applies, but on average, you'll probably get those 3 auto attacks. This skill can be triggered no more than 3 times in a round. Oh, wow, very interesting. So if you auto attack and this procs, you'll normal attack again, and then there's a 60% chance again that it'll proc. So, like, in theory, Daryl could go on his own and just sort of get that 60% luck over and over. But you probably wouldn't want to do that. So, after hitting the weak point of the enemy squad, 100% chance to launch another normal attack. Okay, so interesting. Again, we have this weak point stuff, and then this will automatically cause you to just launch a normal attack. This ability, I don't know. I don't really know that you need this ability for Daryl, to be honest. I think this just allows you to use him in other APCs, but I would say for the most part, people are probably going to pair him with auto-attacking heroes anyway, like Jackie or Tuner. So I don't know that this 8th ability really does a whole lot, which is good because we're going to talk about something in a little bit. So we have this weak point stuff here. I really don't know what that means. I'm going to assume that this blind spot thing sort of like triggers this weak spot. I think there's sort of like a 50% chance to trigger the weak spot when it's triggered by the second ability. Or if it's triggered by the second ability, this occurs. So it's kind of strange, right? You have a 50% chance of hitting the weak point after every normal attack. If you hit the weak point, you have a 100% chance to normal attack. So basically, no matter what, if you have this unlocked or maxed, actually, if you just have it straight up unlocked, so that's actually pretty cool. You'll have a 50% chance after every auto attack of auto-attacking again. With this max, there's also a 60% chance to just normal attack again. So maybe you actually don't need, if you have Daryl Dixon maxed, potentially you don't need any other normal attack enhancing hero, because you already have a 50% chance and you have a 60% chance. I mean, that's pretty high, right? That's pretty significant to me, at least. Granted, this will occur like after every normal attack. This will trigger potentially more normal attacks. So I don't really know. We'll have to see. The math is, a little bit confusing. The probability statistics math here is more advanced than it would at least seem. I'll probably figure it out later. And then kind of see if we actually need an auto-attacking hero. It sort of looks like we don't. It sort of looks like Daryl can kind of go on his own, and that would be pretty huge. So let's talk about his overall efficiency, or like his effectiveness, and we'll give him a rating, and then we'll talk about a couple things with him. So I think right now he's pretty good. He's actually a pretty good hero. Currently, all of the SP heroes, we have a tank in Annie and then a support in Azure Dart. They don't do any damage at all. They do basically 0 damage. They're just incredibly good at what they do. So Annie is just an incredible tank and provides just everything, like buffs, debuffs out the butt. Azure is just a really, really good support in the right combination. So if you have a lot of combat skills, Azure Dart is really, really strong. So that's why she's used in certain combinations. Daryl Dixon sort of looks to be kind of the same thing, where you can kind of just put him in an APC and he'll probably do his job well. His job seems to be dealing damage and debuffing the enemy, which is sort of what the SP heroes currently do. They do a lot of debuffs. They don't really do damage. So I'm going to assume that Daryl Dixon is going to be really, really strong. Again, it looks like he can basically just play by himself. We'll really have to see. But if he's actually able to if these percentages are high enough where he's able to be in an APC alone without another auto-attacking hero, that just makes him so much stronger. Basically, you'll be able to stack all of these debuffs on the enemy. They'll be dealing like no damage. The amount of damage that they take will increase, which means you'll probably want another carry hero alongside of Mr. Daryl Dixon. And you reduce the damage that they deal, meaning, he can kind of go in the front row, or someone a little squishier can go in the front row. You don't have to have a super tank, which gives you more options. And you reduce their healing, which is really good. So probably he's going to be strong. I mean, basically just him being an SP hero implies that he'll be fairly strong. So that's another thing to talk about, is him being an SP hero. Right now, we know, Annie and Azure Dart, they're SP heroes. they're pretty expensive to get. I think you need like 40 copies of the heroes, something like that, maybe 30 to 40. I don't exactly know. That's a lot. They come out in like events, so you don't use super tickets, which means there are probably going to be 2 new heroes in super tickets as well. That just seems like a ton of new heroes. Maybe they'll, work together. It's really hard to say. Maybe they won't have new heroes with super tickets. Maybe these SP heroes will be in the pools. We don't really know. Quite likely, they're going to have events that are pretty expensive to fully max out this hero. So, the fact that this 8th ability thing here gives you that 100% chance, you might want to max this last. The only reason why I'm saying this is because basically you're going to have a 50% chance to deal two normal attacks every single round. That's decent if you pair him with like Jackie or a tuner. Excuse me. He's going to be auto attacking probably 3 turns every round, which is enough. Eventually, as you get more copies of him, once you max out his 8th ability, then you can probably apply him to other APCs without those auto attacking heroes. So I think it'll really, really depend. I would probably, again, we'll have to see how it works, but most likely I would max out, his 5th ability, his 6th, his 7th, maybe not his 7th, but his 5th and his 6th, and then go towards his 8th. I would just unlock maybe 1 or 2 levels of his 8th, and then much later, as I acquire copies, max out his 8th, and then probably change his APC. So that's just something to consider. He also is going to have a skin pretty soon. I actually talked about this in a YouTube short. They introduced this a little too quick. This is probably going to cost around 5,000 buttons, and it is upgradable. So quite likely it's going to be, this exact same cost here as the Azure Dart upgradable skin. 5,000 buttons to unlock, and then I actually don't know how many buttons to upgrade, but let's just say another 5,000 buttons to upgrade. So it will cost a lot for the skin, but it is really, really good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Daryl Dixon, guys. He'll probably be very expensive. He'll probably be very good, but I think there are a couple ways to play him, so we'll have to find out. Hopefully I can get him, when he releases, or I don't know, maybe be able to use or look at battle reports from some bigger bases who fully unlock Daryl right away. So that's going to be it, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing a Maggie video right after this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it makes sense. Let me know your thoughts on Daryl, and maybe you have some answers to some of the questions that I have. All right, take it easy. Peace.